All right, folks, it's ready for round 2 with Man to Man with Dean Lerner.
I'm excited. I forgot we were doing this.
If you forgot we were doing
Yeah.
this. Why, because we're doing 2 shows at once now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much for my brain to handle.
Dairy Girls and Man to Man. Well, the good news is this is only 1 season, so...
Yeah. I found
if
out
you feel like you're doing too much, this will be over before you know it.
Okay. I don't want it to be over too soon, though. I like it.
Yeah.
But I found out a fun fact. What's it? Matt Berry
Yes.
sings that song, Hold My Hand. Was that the
If
name
that's
of the
the
song?
name of the song,
yeah,
I don't know. It was the
that's
first time I heard
all over Instagram right now. Like, people are posting reels. Like, I forgot this was the whole point. And then that song is there. And I just thought it was funny because he's like a comedian, but he writes like these really pretty songs. And I didn't know he had that good of a voice.
Well, you should have known it, because he was in...
I'm a
one-track lover.
I didn't know that was his voice, though, in that. Like, I thought they dubbed it over with someone else, because he just doesn't look like that should be his voice.
Well, they, like, finagled it to make it sound like it was recorded in the 1980s.
Yeah, but still, I don't know. He doesn't look like he should have that voice to me.
Why not?
I don't know. Facist. I don't know.
Facist?
Yeah, his face doesn't look
Do
like
they have to, if they
like
sing
that.
pretty, do they have to look pretty too?
He's not a bad-looking guy.
No, he's not.
He just doesn't look like he would sound like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I guess never judge a book by its cover, never judge a face by its sound.
Never judge a cock by its mushroom cap.
Ew. I'm judging. I'm judging that statement.
I had to throw something weird out there before we get into this weird show.
How many mushroom caps have you been looking at?
My own. Sometimes it looks weird. This is Man to Man with Dean Lerner, episode 2. And Matthew Holness, who played Garth Marenghi, he's going to be playing a guy named Steve Pising, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's the name of the episode. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Here we go, folks. Let's get it. Whoops. Hold on. There we go.
Live from his luxury penthouse apartment in London's glittering East End, Dean Lerner, club owner, entrepreneur, and publisher of high-class gentlemen's magazines, invites you to join him for an exclusive man-to-man.
I don't know why it throws me off every time they open that limo door. There's no one in there. My brain goes, they're gone. Like,
It's because you're the one who's getting in there.
I know, but my brain goes, they're gone. Like, it's a mystery. Where did they go?
I can't wait to see what Matthew Holness, what kind of character he
Yeah,
plays.
it's a character.
Please welcome Mr.
See?
Dean Lerner.
He's sending a limo to go pick you up and
Yeah.
bringing you to his luxury studio.
See, I understand that, but my brain, for this what second they open it up, I'm like, he's gone. I don't know who he is, but the person's gone.
Okay, moving on. Where did he go? And you love his little setup here with the fish, naked Roman lady, and
A fire pit.
a fur blanket on the leather sofa here.
Like, if I, had dinner with a guy for the first time, and then he took me back to his house. He's like, oh, I got a penthouse in New York. And I walked in, and that's what I saw. I'd go, oh, I'm getting murdered. I'm getting murdered tonight. Like, it's just too crazy.
You've been watching too much of you.
Maybe.
Thank you so much. 1,000 thank yous. And welcome to Man to Man. My name is Dean Lerner, and I guess you could say I'm a one-man brand. I've got a club called Dino's, a restaurant called Chez Dino's, an erotic comic called The Dino, and a men's magazine called Jigglers. And that was originally called Dino's Jigglers, but the image it conjured up was, at best, harrowing. Wasn't it, Satu? Now, this show is an attempt to bring back some refinement to modern television, a medium that's become so depraved, so venal, that I'm almost ashamed to be associated with it. And I've worked in skin. In short, you can sum up the credos of Man to Man in one word: class. What is class? Well, it's impossible to define, despite what dictionaries would have us believe. But certain images can conjure up its essence: jumbo prawns, ankle bracelets, and dimmer switches in the toilet. And my special guest this evening is pure class. He's the candelabra of toilet lighting, if you will. Now, as many of you will know, I've had a long-standing love of motor racing. And back in the 80s, I even had my own team called the Dean Team. Perhaps you've heard of it, or perhaps you haven't. Those are the two options. The point is, tonight's VIP visitor was the most famous driver the Dean Team ever had, but you might know him better now as a spokesman for a major hair restoral company.
Having lived life in the fast lane for well over a decade, it's no surprise to me that my back has begun to fall out.
Who is that? Was that Matt Berry?
No, that was Matthew Holness, the guy who plays Garth Marenghi.
Oh, okay.
That's the guy. But did you see that freaking image?
Better now as a
I
spokesman
was just
for
looking
a
at his
major
face.
hair restoral company.
Look, so this one has his
Oh my god, I thought that
no
was
back
the back
hair,
of a head.
and this one has all the back hair.
I thought that was the back of a head.
No.
No, I did not notice it was a back.
Having lived life in the fast lane for well over a decade, it's no surprise to me that my back has begun to fall out. But with Back Studio's revolutionary new hair restoral treatment, my back, sack, crack and shoulders have been restored to their bushy best in just under 3 years. Has
Oh
it
my
changed my
God,
life? You betcha. Back in business.
Please welcome the 4 times former Formula 5 world champion, Steve the Accelerator Pissing with 1S.
Pissing. One ass. Fuck off. Fuck off, man.
Thank you, Dean. Well,
Whoa,
over the moon.
one second. Okay. Go.
Thank you, Dean. I'm over the moon to be here, and can I say that's an hilarious start to the proceedings, albeit one that is technically inaccurate. The checkered flag usually denotes the close of a race, whereas the start of a race is usually signified by a sequence of coloured lights flashing red, red, green, then out. But thank you, and thank you also for the correct pronunciation of my surname. So many people over the years have pronounced it Pising or Pizzing. It's not, it's Pissing. Said it once, and I'll say
He's
it
a
again.
good actor. I didn't
Pissing
even
is my
recognize
name,
him.
and I'm proud to be a Pissing. And that's the end of it.
Agreed.
That's the end of it, Dean.
Sure. Oh, God! Now, some time back, your racing career was cut tragically short by a horrendous car accident, of which more in the Junus, of course, which means that a number of our younger viewers may not know that you were once 4 times Formula 5 world champion. Now, forgive me for blowing smoke up my own trumpet, but all of those wins were with my team, the Dean Team.
That's right, Dean. I'd like to say that with you by my side, I was living the Dean.
Well, that's both funny and kind. But tell me, Steve, what was it like to drive a Formula 5 car? What made it so exciting?
Well, I'd have to say the speed.
The speed.
The sheer speed, Dean. There was nothing else like it. It was better than sex. Well, certainly better than any sex I've ever had. The feeling of speed was just indescribable.
So what was it like?
As I say, it's indescribable.
Try describing it.
Really good.
Now, together we won a lot of races, but what for you was your finest moment?
Well, I'd have to say probably Brands Hatch 85. I was leading solidly for 15 laps. Then on lap 16, I was taken by Henrik Greger, the fiery Sri Lankan. I got angry, I put my foot down, I did this, and I was back on pole.
And that was the greatest moment of your life?
Yes, it was. I mean, there was a moment immediately prior to that where I'd done this, and that was pretty special. I mean, I remember thinking that's probably my greatest moment. But then that moment led to this, which blew the previous moment right out of the park. In fact, the only thing that's come close since is when I first saw the trailer to Troy.
And It's a very dangerous sport, isn't it?
Well, I've got no skin left on my legs anymore. They look like 2 tubes of pate. In fact, one dermatologist said I'm literally down to my last layer of skin, so I can't wash with a flannel anymore. I have to use wet wipes from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that's the only brand my skin will take. So if I ever want to spruce up, it's a trip to the Colonel.
I cannot believe this is the same guy.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Who does he sound like? This voice is like... No, he kind of sounds like... fucking... the guy from South Park. Why can't I think of his name right now? Okay.
The teacher guy.
Yeah. Why can't I think of his name? Mr.
Gilbert? Mr. Gilbert, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he does sound like Mr. Gilbert.
That's right, okay?
Yeah, you could go study, okay?
It's very difficult to find a good quality wet wipe in any case because I took Satu to the Ivy recently and I asked for a wet wipe and they said, we don't do wet wipes. I said, the fuck you don't do wet wipes? I'm paying £2 a head and you don't do fucking wet wipes. They said, no, we don't. I said, well, send out for a wet wipe. I've got shrimp all over my hands. I stink. I need a wet wipe. And so in the end, they had to bite some over from Chicken Cottage, who do a very good wet wipe, and gratis, I may add. But I have to say, I think...
Sorry, really quick. One time I was serving a table, and we ran out of wet wipes, and they were eating chicken wings. And, we have napkins, but we ran out of wet wipes. And someone was like, oh, I'm so sorry, can I have wet wipes? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, we're out. And she was like, what am I supposed to do, wash my hands? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that gave me that vibe.
I have a feeling each episode this is going to be a theme where Dean Lerner goes on an absolute rant.
Yeah, he's pissed off about something.
And it's
silly.
really Richard Ayoade, the actor, going on a rant that's just in Dean Lerner form.
He's like, this happened. Why the fuck didn't they have wet wipes?
The Ivy were a little bit embarrassed by the whole thing because I'd been in there 2 weeks back and they didn't have any sporks. Back to you, Steve. You have borne all your innumerable chafings with considerable courage, and I think that's what the British public love so much about you. It's your character.
Well, it's not for no reason, Dean, that I've been...
This is a really random fucking... I don't even know if I want to call it a rant, but he... It was a really quick little joke, but he's like, they were out of sporks. I think sporks are such a good invention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was eating chicken noodle soup one day. And they had, from Panera, and all they had was sporks. And I remember eating it being like, this is the only way to eat soup, because you can stab. You can stab the noodles and the chicken, and you get the broth.
Why is this so funny?
Because even when I was thinking about how amazing a spork was, I was like, this is so stupid. But I think they're a really good invention.
Yeah, okay. She loves sporks.
This is why you can't give me ice cream past midnight.
It's not even midnight. It's 10.
That's midnight for a mom.
Okay.
Actual midnight is 2 a.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sporks are great.
You lost your mind at that spork story.
Share that with you.
Oh, man. I'm going to get you a spork for your birthday.
Eat chicken noodle soup with a spork. It will change your life.
Okay.
Innumerable chafings with considerable courage, and I think that's what the British public love so much about you. It's your character.
Well, it's not for no reason, Dean, that I've been voted Sports Personality of the Year 3 times running.
Sure, and that's a very difficult competition to win because you are up against some very witty sportsmen, including, I think, John Parrott.
Well, as I said on the night, I've had the ride of my life in this career, but the road to this particular trophy has been the bumpiest.
That is priceless. Lovely. And you actually wrote that joke yourself, didn't you?
Yes, I did. It took about a week, but I was very pleased with the result, and I think it still holds up well today.
I think I agree. And it was that speech, and in particular that joke, if I may be so bold, that led to the tide of pissing mania that swept the country. You were everywhere, weren't you? There were pissing T-shirts, pissing mugs, pissing posters, and there was even the pissing single, wasn't there?
That's right. Driving me crazy.
Driving me crazy, that's right. How did it go? Yeah, you're driving me crazy, take your foot off the gas. I'm all tired out, I've got my head on the dash. We need to put the brakes on or we'll skid off the tracks. We've been slow out the grids, now I want you back. You're driving me crazy. Why don't you give it a rest? Do what Bunny wrote? Pardon? No, that's Chas and Dave. That's Chas and Dave.
I like that song.
Well, to be fair, I think we ripped it off them.
Yeah, sure. So I suppose the culmination of this avalanche of merchandise was your video in which you documented your hopes, your dreams, and your plans for the future when you were literally at the top of your game. So let's have a look at pissing in the driving seat.
Hi, I'm Steve Pissing, and this is Pissing in the Driving Seat.
In this home video cassette, Steve Pissing will reveal what drives him, his racy views on the motor business, keep us on track with his private life, and candidly share his hopes for the future while also putting the brakes on some rumours about his imminent retirement. Steve Pissing is one of Formula 5's great personalities. 3 times UK champion, with an historic 47 trophies to his name, he is known to other drivers and his fans alike as the Accelerator.
Well, I'm known as the Accelerator, I suppose because in my motor racing career I've often had to accelerate in order to overtake rival drivers, so I suppose it's a reference to that.
A devoted husband to his wife Marie, he runs a successful business with his brother, Barry Pissing. He also owns a camel, and has recently opened a camel refuge in his hometown of Folkestone, Kent.
Hey, you know what? Good for him. Good for and save the camels.
Save the camels.
Yeah, I like that idea. Although I don't know what the fuck they're doing in Britain. Shouldn't they be in like Egypt or somewhere in North Africa?
I remember in Florida there was a guy who had bison and camels. Like that was his whole farm, just bison and camels. And
really?
people pet them, yeah.
Was he doing the bison trick? Or like if you have a certain
of
bison, you get like a tax break or something? Yeah.
Yep, that's the only reason he had bisons. He did nothing with them. They just ate the grass, and he was like, that's Betty Bison, that's Bob Bison.
I mean, buffalo are cool.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
They are really cool. They're actually nice. You could feed them like carrots, and they would eat it out of your hands.
Wild buffalo, not so much.
Well, these weren't wild buffalo.
But
don't go feed a wild buffalo.
But mostly they'll run away from you. But if you piss one off, he'll turn.
No, these ones will come up to you and like they wanted to get
do
pet.
the whole buffalo thing.
Yeah. Oh my god. The thingy is like didn't know where your head was. The little square. Went, oh my god.
Yeah. Somebody told me.
A seizure.
Somebody told me to turn the autofocus off, but I haven't done that yet. So.
I think we just.
I can't remember who it was that said to do that, but
I think we need to just like cover the screen.
Well, I could just flip it back around.
I don't know, part of me likes having it, but part of me doesn't.
I like having it because it gives me like a reference of like where I am.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm sure like the viewers are gonna see me awkwardly stare at them randomly because sometimes I like look at the camera.
Yeah. Yeah. I try not to look at the camera. I try to look at the lens.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah.
I own a camel, I love camels, I adore camels, I'm camel crazy. Camels have great stamina, they look good, like me they go a hell of a long way on one tank, and above all they're honest. And let me say this to you now, if only everyone was as honest as a camel, the world would be a much better place in my opinion.
What does Steve feel about the recent fraud and manslaughter allegations made against Dean Lerner and Dean Machine Motors? Do these have a bearing on his future plans?
I have the utmost respect for Dean Lerner. I think he does a wonderful job, often in very difficult circumstances. Granted, he flew off the handle somewhat during his recent courtroom appearance, but I've said this...
I think
That's an amazing image. Rewind that.
Someone
Rewind
had
that.
to, the best thing.
I think
Someone
he
had
does
to
a
draw
wonderful
that.
job,
Yeah.
often in very difficult circumstances. Granted, he flew off the handle somewhat during...
Someone drew that, and I want it framed.
Yo, I want that. Yeah, I want that picture. Like,
Yeah.
I want to. This is the only wall that
There
I
you go.
have.
You get me a spork for my birthday, I'm gonna get you that picture, or draw it for you.
Or just do the same drawing, but instead replace it with me.
Okay.
Replace
Mission
Dean Lerner with me.
accepted.
Actually, no. I mean, Dean Lerner looks really funny in this sketch.
He
here,
does.
So.
in his recent courtroom appearance, and I've said this once, and I'll say it again. As far as I'm concerned, Dean's always been straight with me. I've always been straight with him. I'll be completely straight with the judge when I'm called to testify at Dean's trial next month. Dean knows that. Dean respects that. I've got nothing to hide. Dean's got nothing to hide. The Dean team's got nothing to hide.
So we leave Steve pissing at a crossroads in his career. But one thing's for certain, this won't be the last chapter in the pissing story.
Nice. Very nice to see that.
But shortly after that video, you indeed announced you were leaving my team, the Dean team.
Yes.
Steve left the Dean team with my blessing. I wish you the very best. But I warned you at the time that if you left me, things would not turn out well for you. And I was right, wasn't I?
True, it was an uncanny prediction, Dean, because in my first race with my new team, I had a terrible crash that effectively put the brakes on my entire career.
Which is ironic, because it was your brakes that failed during that race.
It's one of those things you just have to live with, Dean.
did
I
it.
don't know how that brake cable became severed in 18 different places.
It's a mystery.
So never.
Now, the injuries you received were extensive. I mean, no one was more surprised than me when you pulled through.
Well, it was a horrific crash, Dean. I remember it like it was yesterday. The brakes failed, I hit the curb, the car flipped, I went into a roll, slid on some oil, skidded into a tyre wall, bounced over the control tower onto a garage roof, catapulted sideways into a tree, dropped down into the path of a speeding van, ricocheted back up into the tree, landed bonnet down in a skip, the petrol tank blew, the car exploded, the tree fell on the car, and at that point I became worried I might not make it.
I'm honestly surprised you even just
My
remembered
seat
all
caught
that.
fire.
I was actually about to say that. I was really impressed with them. That's where like good acting comes in.
Yeah.
Where like you remember all those lines and especially something like that.
Yeah.
Like that kind of long stuff like that impresses
And
me.
not even looking like you thought about it.
Right.
The skip blew up. I started hearing gunshots. Then a pickup truck dumped 15 gallons of wet cement on top of me. When I was chiseled out of the wreckage, my pelvis was shattered, one arse cheek was hanging loose, the top of my head was leaking, and my spine had become severely compressed.
Right. By how much?
I was 3'5", Dean. But lucky for me, they managed to surgically stretch me back to something approximating my original height over a period of 7 years.
Right. Were you ever afraid that you were going to die?
Well, I did die, Dean. I was rushing down a tunnel towards a very bright light at the other end. I was going maybe 200, 220 mph. Popped out the other end and I saw the face of God.
And what did he look like?
A little bit like Uncle Albert from Only Fools and Horses.
That's how I imagined him to look like. I guess he didn't do that a lot, though.
Not that I noticed, but heaven was...
Old Uncle Albert with the head bobbing. She doesn't know. One day you
You
will.
showed me the
Only Fools and Horses?
like one episode.
No, I didn't show you an episode of Only Fools and
I think
Horses.
he did.
I highly doubt that.
Must have been my other fiance.
It's like a huge car parts depot, gleaming white and stocked to the gills with every form of car part or car part accessory you could wish for. And I remember thinking, if I ever come through this, I'm going to open up a similar operation in Folkestone or maybe Dover. And God said to me, Steve, that's a great idea. There's a lot of passing trade opening up in Folkestone, what with the channel nearing completion and increasing reinvestment throughout the area. And you've already built up good brand loyalty with pissing parts and pissing oil. So we talked for about an hour about the motor parts trade, and we found a lot of our views on how to trade in stock were very similar.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Steve. I had no idea that answer would be so long. We have to go to a commercial break. Please come back for what I promise will be a snappier second half. Welcome back to Man with Dean Lerner. I'm about to recommence talking to former Formula 5 world champion Steve Pissing now.
Oh, that was funny to me.
After the crash that ended your motor racing career, you returned to domestic life. How did you find that?
Since my retirement, my wife Marie and I have been trying for a baby, but with no joy at all. And it's been devastating for me, Dean, because as you know, I want to continue the Pissing name. It's an old Anglo-Saxon name, and regrettably it's dying out.
And I understand, as yet, your marriage has been without issue.
You got it in one, Dean. Unfortunately, the kind of temperatures generated in the driving seat during an average Formula 5 race are roughly the equivalent of a Breville toaster. So, sadly, over the years, the tip of my shaft has become heat-sealed. A bit like the corners of a toasted sandwich.
Could you not try siphoning off some sperms?
I'd love to, Dean, but the trouble is, after 10 years on the track with my testes sizzling on a white-hot engine, everything down there's long since curdled.
Well, I've got the opposite problem. I mean, I just found out this week that I've got another son, which is not ideal. But then again, you can't argue with the DNA test. Not for long. Sorry. I digress. Couldn't you adopt?
No, I couldn't adopt. Apparently, calling a child pissing in this day and age constitutes a form of child abuse. I mean, not to harp on about it, but even my wife Marie won't take my name. And I've said to her, I've pleaded, please, Marie, please take it as a middle name. But she won't. She won't, because her surname's Blood.
Let's move on. Now, after the crash that you should not have survived, you went full-time into the parts business, didn't you?
That's right. I love the parts business, and I get the same kick from selling a wheel component or a splash shield as I did crossing the finishing line, would you believe?
I believe you, Steve. And you ran that business with your brother Barry, and I believe we've got a picture of him, which we can see now. There he is.
Yeah, that's my brother Barry. He's my younger brother. Just sitting here thinking about him makes
like
my
a
blood
vampire.
boil.
Cain and Abel, Romulus and Remus, and now Steve and Barry. Why can't brothers get on?
I don't know, Dean. I love him like a brother, but at the same time, I hate him so much I could spit. And I don't even approve of spitting, as you know.
Actually, I'll tell you who's a terrible one for spitting. He's a real gobber. And that's Des Lynam. When he's on Countdown, they actually have to put a spittoon under his desk. That's true. That is true. He won't tell you. That's why he's got the moustache, is to soak it up, basically. So what did Barry do?
What didn't he do?
Let's start off with what he did do, because that was a long first half.
Okay. Well, things began one day when we'd been delivered an extra wiper blade from our supplier by mistake, and Barry suggested we pocket the profit and keep our heads low for a week. And I said, Barry, I don't want to live like a fugitive for the rest of my life. I can't do business like that. Then, not long after that, he began to turn up late for work. He'd roll up to the depot at about 7:30 when I'd been there since 5, and I'd say, Jesus, Barry, what time do you call this? Half the day's gone. And he'd just look at me, flip the bird, and say, climb it, Tarzan. Then I noticed he started to take the van home at weekends, and when it came back on Monday morning, it smelled distinctly of midnight sin. And the worst thing was, he wouldn't do up his top button on his shirt, which from a customer's point of view is like being kicked in the balls.
And you were so ill with stress, you had to take 5 months off work, didn't you?
That's right, well, that's where all my back hair fell out. And that...
Have you noticed the bags under his eyes?
Yeah.
They could rival mine.
I think they did that on purpose. I think it's makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously, but...
I don't think he's that tired.
like, he looks more tired than me.
That's when I came back to you, the only man in the world I could trust, and very honourably and for £50 you took the business off my hands and a whole heap of worry from my shoulders.
And these are exciting times for the business because we have a new reality show where you and I have to find a new trainee to oversee the future growth of pissing parts. So let's have a look at The Learner. Good morning, everyone. OK, let's cut straight to it, shall we? You lot are going to be competing against one another to become the new night security guard at my Woking depot. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, as well as the obvious cachet that such a position affords. The lucky appointee will receive an annual salary of $9.5K and personalised name badge. Now, helping me choose my learner security guard will be my two trusted advisors. To my right, Mr. Steve Pissing. Steve heads up the car parts depot here, and as such, over the next few weeks, will be my eyes, ears, throat, and balls. To my left is my financial advisor. Now, I'm going to split you up into two groups, shirts and skirt. Shirts, you can do stock taking with Steve here, and skirt, what's your name, my love?
Martine.
Martine, my darling. You can soap down the jag with me and Mary Lou.
Water pumps, that's a DI2519 and a DI2517. Okay? Yeah. Can you see them? There they are, there they are. What's the quantity?
2.
What's the quantity?
2.
What's the quantity? Look. There you go. Quantity 1. Jot it down. Exhaust paste power cans. Where are they? Wrong, that's a water pump. Because if they come too far on the shelves, they can fall and it's against health and safety. If this juts out too far and I'm walking along here, bang, and I'm out. Okay, so just be very, very careful. Bring it up to the edge, but no further. And don't push it all the way back because then you might miss one walking through, okay? Because I'll walk past, go, where is it, and I've gone past it. It's literally up to that edge. That's why they were built this length. Okay, that's why the width is right. It's just right for the job. It's just right for the job. Did you stack these?
Yes.
Yeah, they're overstacked. Okay, if you look, come here. If you look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, there's 10. I mean, I know what you've done. You put 10 on thinking, well, 10's a nice even number. But they should only ever go to at least to 7. Or, 7 or less, really.
Right.
Because if I walk along here and I'm crouching and I'm walking through and they drop off, I mean, I know they're not heavy, but enough of them could blind me.
Yo! This is...
And now he's having the girls wax his car.
Yeah, underneath the sign that says pissing parts.
Pissing parts.
Does anyone here want a cup of tea?
No,
Cup of tea?
no, they don't. They're fine.
Cup of tea?
They're fine.
Okay.
Send them in, please.
Dean Lerner is a hound.
I guess so.
Okay, now I've listened to the advice of Steve and Mary Lou, but now I need you to convince me, okay? You, what have you got to say for yourself?
During play, said I did good.
Pardon me?
I was great.
You were great, suddenly
Yeah, man,
great.
I did it good.
He did it good. He did it good. Did he did it good, Steve?
He did.
I caught some like you key my car.
You okay?
Yeah, I just really like that. He did it good.
Now what happened to him?
What?
He carried his leg home. It's all a joke for these fellas. What about you? How many GCSEs have you got?
I have 2 GCSEs.
I don't like eggheads. Okay? So I've got a problem with you. Why should I keep you on?
Well, like I said before, I think I've done my task to my best ability.
Right. What's your best ability? That of the hog?
Damn.
What have you got to say in your defence?
I think Steve and I make a pretty good team.
So you're Torval and Dean suddenly, are you? Skating together in sync.
It was discussed.
What, Torval and Dean?
Us going skating.
What about you?
I can be a good employee for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Right. You know what I think you are? I think you're a fucking toilet.
Jesus. These guys all look like they could be in a band.
He called him a toilet. Yo.
Was that?
I think you're a fucking toilet. Yo,
That was like
also-
Gordon Ramsay.
Dude, Richard Ayoade, he says, fuck. Funnier than almost
does.
him and Matt Berry, by the way. Him and Matt Berry say the F word.
Yeah.
Like funnier than like any other people we watch.
I know. I want to see
stuff.
They need to have their own show.
Oh God. I mean, Matt Berry says anything funny.
Yeah.
Like he could just say like.
Oh, that was his
like that
favorite
thing
part of IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Was he would just sing normal shit, but it was so funny.
Yeah, like that clip you were like, you were showing me that clip on Instagram, and it was him singing, and then it was like that's sung by this guy, and he just went New York City.
Yeah, New York City.
I think it was a clip from What We Do in the Shadows.
He does have such a good voice. I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks right up my alley.
A lot of people want you to watch it as
Yeah.
well. I watched the movie. We should probably watch
There's
the
a
movie.
movie.
Well, there was a movie
Is Johnny
first.
Depp in it?
No.
Oh.
There was a movie first, and then they made a TV show, and Matt Berry's in the TV show.
I want to watch the TV show.
And the TV show is like 4 or 5 seasons, I think.
I want to watch the TV show.
And it's still going.
I want to watch it with Matt Berry.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I want to watch next.
There's like 2 other Matt Berry shows that we have to
Let's
watch
watch
as well.
all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
That's who do you like better? Do you like Matt Berry better or Richard Ayoade?
It's hard.
It is tough.
It is very tough.
I like
want to
both of
watch
them.
the Shadow show.
What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds fun.
Okay.
Martine, how did you get off?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. This is very tough indeed. A lot of conflicting testimony. It is my decision, but I've made it, and I'm going to cut all of you loose except Martine.
Shocker.
There's a great episode coming up later where Satu and Martine have a catfight on a bouncy castle, so watch out for that. All that remains for me to do is to thank once again my super guest, Steve Pissing, for talking to me, man to man, and to thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much. When we're done, I'll get a hose. Get a hose. You might get sprinkled a bit.
Dude.
Don't give me that look, Steve.
That car's too clean, Dean.
It's my decision, Steve.
Your decision.
It is my decision. And the car is the level of cleanness that I'd like. Tonight might be a late one, so you'd best call your mother, because I doubt you'll be back before 11:30. Okay.
Well,
then.
that was a creepy ending. I wonder how.
That was a creepy ending. I thought she was like in her 20s, and then he said you need to call your mom. Now I don't like it.
Well, she might live with her mom.
That's true.
But the way that conversation went, it felt like she was like 15.
Yeah. Don't be
weird.
creepy. What's his
Don't
name?
be like Dean
Richard?
Lerner, I guess.
Dean Lerner?
Yeah. Well, he's playing a character, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What do you think?
Matthew Holness. I'm liking this show.
Yeah.
Matthew Holness. I'm actually very impressed with him.
Yeah,
Because
he's a good actor.
I mean, he was already great as Garth Marenghi, but this guy, the Steve Pissing character.
It was interesting to see him play something else.
Yeah, and I think he's going to do that like every episode.
Yeah.
So, and of course, Richard Ayoade is great. I mean,
I do think the first episode was a little crazier. This one had some really good, funny
I mean,
bits in it,
of
though.
course it was crazier because it had a goddamn movie trailer.
Yeah.
Of them taking on wasps.
That was the best movie trailer ever.
That was great. Oh man, yeah, it was definitely one for the ages. That movie trailer.
Yeah.
But no, I'm liking the show. And I like the sketches that they make to
Yeah, I do too.
weave in there. I really like Richard Ayoade's rants as well.
Yeah.
He always has like one good rant in there somewhere.
Sorry about my spork rant. Just had to let you know how great sporks are.
Yeah. But yeah, it was excellent. Excellent. So
It's not. It's a nice like cut between like doing this and then doing Dairy Girls,
yeah.
because they're two very different shows.
Very different shows.
Very
yes.
different.
But they're both good.
Yeah.
Dairy Girls is really good.
And then I'm excited to start What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, well, I got to make you watch the movie first because it's based off the show spawns from the movie, and the movie's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's got that I could never say his last name right, Taiki Waititi.
Taiki Waititi. Taiki Waititi, is that his name?
I probably butchered that,
Taiki
but
Waititi.
Anyway, you'd know him if you saw him. You'd know who he is if you saw him.
Google Taiki Waititi.
Now, if I did say his name right and you're just laughing your ass off, that's fucked up.
Taiki Waititi.
Young lady.
Is he Japanese?
Japanese? No, he's from New Zealand, I believe.
Listen, if that's actually his name, I have nothing to judge. I just went on a rant about how much I love sporks. Okay.
Oh man, you need to go to bed.
Do not be insulted by me. Laughing at a name.
I think it's bedtime. You're getting the crazy laughs. Yeah, that means you're tired as hell.
I gotta go to bed, guys.
All right, we'll see you next time, y'all. Peace out.
Bye.